Hi, my name's Tracy Hall. Back in 2017, I lost my life savings, $317,000.
Wow.
To a man that I met on the internet that pretended to love me.
I love you.
It was a romance scam, an investment scam, all wrapped up into one horrible 18-month nightmare.
$317,000. But don't feel sorry for her. She was self-aware enough to know that that's a hell of a story that somebody got her for $317,000 and wrote a book about it.
I have written a book about my experience. It's called The Last Victim, and if you'd like to know more, please grab a copy and have a read.
That was a smart move. Maybe she can get some of her money back. Let's get into some of these testimonials from people that's even been scammed themselves or have close family members that have been scammed. What it look like TV?
I am back. What it do, baby?
YouTube's own Varnell Hill.
Did you miss me?
Your very own spokesman for the Insidians. We're inside and we're comfortable.
They're so comfortable.
And I'm back with another one. And y'all know exactly what this is. This is part 2 of the romance scams. And in this video, we're getting into the testimonials for either people that's been scammed themselves or close family members that had to deal with a family member that was scammed and all the blowback that comes with that. So let's get right into it.
But let me tell you the story. So the story is about how a family member of mine did some money laundering for scammers in South Africa. I found out about it about a year and a half ago when this family member came to me and said, oh, I want to tell you something. I have met somebody and I am ready to marry this person, but she's in South Africa and we've been corresponding for quite some time. But now that I'm available, she's going to come to the United States so that we can be together. Now, no problem that she is 40 years younger than this person. Okay. And she's on her way. She's on her way to America to be with this older family member to live happily ever after. But darn, she gets in a car accident on the way to the airport and oh my gosh, she is in the hospital. She has broken legs. She is just messed up. And wouldn't you know it? She needs somebody to pay her hospital bills so that she can get better, because supposedly in South Africa, if you're in the hospital and you're white, they hate you and they won't feed you. So first of all, my family member starts to send money so that his lady love can have some food in the hospital while she's recuperating from, her accident. Now, does that sound crazy to you? That is the least crazy thing that I've heard about this situation in the last year. The scammers felt very comfortable asking for money because my family member had previously given them over $1 million. Yes, you heard that right. $1 million given to people that they don't know, that they've never met.
You could tell some people anything about black people and they believe it, man. Believing some dumb stuff about black people cost him probably an extra $400,000, man. I'm telling you, man, don't buy into the bait. And it's sad. The foreigner knew I could bait you right in with this racism and you gonna swallow the hook. You swallowed the hook. But anyway, man, we're gonna move on to this next lady. And this next lady, this one right here, a doozy, man. We're gonna have a lot to talk about when it's done. It's a little long, but we're gonna have a lot to talk about when she get finished talking, believe me.
So I got fake married in June. That's not what this video is about. I have been alone for a really long time. Even though I had a man, he was not around. He was in jail. He was in prison. But I waited faithfully for him for 4 years. Then the year before that, it was pretty bad. But he was in my life. And then I waited for him for 2.5 years before that. But I wasn't faithful. And it cause problems, which is why we didn't end up getting married, because I was honest with him about what had happened, like, I don't know, 8 years ago. But since then, I'm just tired of being alone, so I tried dating, and let me tell you, online dating is crazy. Actually, probably just dating in general, because I met one guy, the first guy I started talking to was a romance scammer. He stole someone's identity and like stole all his videos, all his pictures, and used an app that you like point the phone at a picture and then their head moves like they're real and their mouth moves and they blink. And I always chopped it up to bad internet because he was supposedly in the military. Oh my gosh, I could do like a whole series on like how to tell if someone's a scammer. Like, I am not even joking. Tonight I met a guy, total scammer. He like sent me like a wink, so I was like, no, I'm not talking to you. And he like sent me a wink because he knew that I knew. They're like everywhere. Like, warn your daughters, people. There's just scammers everywhere. So that guy ended up confessing because he said he actually fell in love with me, and I'm pretty sure he did. He was somewhere in Africa and he came clean.
Oh, we gotta stop the video. Did she just say the scammer fell in love with her? Yo, she must be out her mind. He just figured out you didn't have nothing left to give him, so he moved on. You was taking up too much time in the queue.
Then I met a guy on Facebook dating. There was a couple red flags before we met. The first guy was on POF. And then me and this guy, the guy that I met on Facebook dating, like, we became a couple. This is a little more crazier because he was actually in my life. He was my man. I spent Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's with his whole family, my kids. Like, it was crazy. He lied to me about pretty much his whole identity. Like, maybe what he did in college was true, but I remember when the first night we were together at the casino, like, I went out to valet to get my car, and I was like, "You want me to give you a ride to your car?" And he was like, "Yeah." And we pull around and he makes a fake phone call. This is a true story. He makes a fake phone call to a friend, like, "Yeah, where'd you leave your car?" And then he's like, "All right, I'm gonna come get my car." Cause I guess he was embarrassed of his vehicle, which it wasn't even that bad. It was like, I don't know. It was a Chevy Tahoe, not in the greatest condition, but I mean, the guy had a car, and it was like, I mean, he had a car. It was better than I don't have a vehicle, right? Which, while we were dating, he ended up not having a vehicle. Anyways, this would be like a really long story if I told the whole story in detail, but that whole phone call was fake. It was his car. He disappeared on me a couple of times, but he ended up like saying that he flipped houses, and he didn't. He had a badge for like working for like a city, but I don't think he worked there ever. I don't know if it was like an old badge or a temp badge, but he lied. He was like showing me videos of him fixing one of his houses up, and he knew that my best friend lives like back where I'm from, and that she wanted to move closer to me. He was like, "You know what? I'll rent the house out to her." Like, totally lying to me. We were together for like 4 or 5 months, and everything he told me was a lie. Like, I go back in my head now and I'm just like, oh my gosh, he lied about everything. And then I met the man of my dreams, which I don't know if he was a scammer or not either. So I met the man of my dreams. Then, like, right after me and this other guy were done, and I was like irritated one night because I didn't know he was lying to me yet, but he disappeared again. And I was like, you know what? I remember I had the first POF account, the POF account from the first guy. I remember I had an old POF account. So I logged back in and I started talking to this guy who like ended up being like the man of my dreams, right? So he checked like every box. But then when I think back, I'm like, did he check every box, or did he just tell me what I wanted to hear? Because you can't trust anybody. These people are scammers. So, one thing about scammers is they like pull on your emotions, and a lot of them say that they're widowers, which the man of my dream happens to be a widower. Again, I don't know if he's real or fake, but I don't know, both the first guy, the romance scammer, and the man of my dreams, like, I felt like I connected with pretty deeply. Not the same though, not the same like, and how we connected. But the man of my dreams, long story short, supposedly he has like a daughter that really wasn't like in a place where she could deal with her dad dating after her mom died. So we stopped talking. It was really sad. The last thing he told me was like that he has no words, he cares about me deeply, and he wishes it was different. And then I deleted my pictures off my account, and then he deleted his account, and we didn't exchange information. Like, even though we had been talking for over 3 weeks, like every single day, and we had just spent like the day before like talking all day because he was at his daughter's softball game or tournament or whatever. So I don't know. Now I'm like, I feel like, was that even real? Like, so now I'm like questioning my sanity. I'm like, was any of that real because of what happened with the first two?
Yes. It's all fake. Yes. It's fake. It's Santa Claus, it's the Easter Bunny, it's the Tooth Fairy. It's all fake. Come on, man.
You stay focused.
My fault, y'all. My I'm sorry. I just couldn't take it. My fault.
So, and the sad part is like that one like actually really hurts me. Like, whatever. It's just sad. So I had deleted my account, my POF account. But then I'm like, oh my gosh, I wonder if he was even real. So I wanted to see if he was still there, and he just blocked me because his account disappeared. Which I learned after the fact that if they block you, you can still see their account. So he really did delete his account. So I'm like, maybe he was real. Like, why would he delete his account if he was fake? I don't know. I'm so confused. So I just happened to be on. I didn't put any pictures up because I wasn't there trying to talk to anybody. But this guy like hits me up, and I'm like, you're brave, like messaging somebody with no pictures. And he's like, I don't know. He said something like God led him there or whatever. He knew that I was the one. So I don't know. I just entertained him for a second, and come to find out, same crap. Another thing about these scammers, they all have bad English, or they have accents. The one thing about the man of my dreams, I never heard his voice, so I don't know if he had an accent or not. Oh my gosh, I'm so dumb. So this guy gave me the same story. Like, he's from where I'm from, but he's out of town on work. But he's from another country, and I was just like, look, I have major trust issues and PTSD. There is no way I could talk to you. I just can't. And he's shot me a wink. Like I knew what was up. So I don't even know. I'm like, literally, I'm pretty sure I'm done dating. I have a broken heart from my fake man of my dreams. Who knows? But I could go on about how to protect yourself from these scammers because they're everywhere. You can't believe anything.
It's a 238% guarantee that if somebody didn't scam her out of some money, they gonna get some money up out of her. And she's not done. She's online looking to be scammed. She likes the attention. She likes the thrill. Something about being scammed floats her boat because she just can't leave it alone. Wherever she from, it must not be no men alive and breathing in that town, or she just got to type to a man or something, because it seems like she refused to meet a man in real life. Now, before we go any further, I'm going to need you to ask yourself a couple serious questions. You ain't got to tell nobody the answer to these questions, but you need to ask yourself these questions.
Is there someone right now in your DMs that you're talking to that you've never met in person and seems to be promising you the world? They're getting ready to retire, or their contract is up wherever they may be working. It's always in another country. They're going to come home to you. You guys are going to make a life together. You've even talked to his family online. And every promise keeps falling through. He or she has to stay longer. They can't get an airline ticket. They don't have the money. They got hurt. They got shot. They're almost dead. Yeah, scammers tell stories like this. Usually these extravagant lies are a little bit later in the conversation because at the beginning, they just really want to gain your trust. And those who have huge hearts and are amazing people just makes them more susceptible to the romance scams.
Now, be honest. How many of y'all got an African prince in the inbox right now?
I actually met this man for Coffee Meet Bagger. He asked for my WhatsApp number. He slowly get to know me. What is my background? What is my personality? Quite concerned about me. How's your day? Have you eaten?
You ever wondered why romance scammers ask if you've eaten? If you're educated on romance scams, you know that these guys typically come from Ghana or Nigeria. Have you eaten is a common greeting in Nigeria and other African countries. In Nigeria, this is a way of checking up on someone's well-being and showing hospitality to someone. Sharing food is a huge part of African culture.
Feel like we are closer and closer. He make it very real, like, because he mentioned about he staying in Yishun, because that time recently it's raining a bit, so he's like, okay, just now he has slept. He asked me like, oh, what do you like to eat? I like Korean food. Let's meet out like after 2 weeks. Look like soon, but not so soon yet. Mentioned about this investment. I said, I don't know, I should trust you or not. You can just put $100 first. It made me feel guilty that I don't trust a person. I put it $100 at first, I get back 110. So I think this is another point, like, it made me fall to this trap. Total, I put in 77k. He told me the system found out they violate some rules. They blocked our account. I realized it could be a scam. We shouldn't think like we won't become the next one. We always too underestimate them. Some of them criticize me. Why are you so dumb? I think it's not true. Not like because we are too dumb. It's just because they are too good.
So now you know, if you come across somebody online and they always greet you with "have you eaten yet?"
Hi, my love. Did you eat today? Oh, good. Okay. I wanted to call you and tell you how strong our faith is together. God has brought us so close together. Can you believe all the things He's done for us? I promise I'll be there for you. Why can't I be there for you right now? God has a plan for us, love. I can't question God, you know? But one day, I believe we will see each other.
They might be a scammer.
Hello everyone, I just wanted to thank everyone for their interest and support in my story. I saw that there were some repeated questions. One of them was, what was the real name of this con man? His real name was Blaine Frederick. However, I met him as Eric Benson when I met him in Florida, and that was the name he used for the 6 years he was fleeing justice in California. So Eric Benson was the name he used in Florida. The other question was, did I get money back? Unfortunately, I did not. I did get from the court an order of restitution, which is a piece of paper, but basically it's good for nothing because this guy has never worked a day in his life, so he doesn't have a penny to his name. And right now, he is a free man. He's in California. Nobody knows of his whereabouts, so I am likely never to get anything.
Here go a good question to ask after that lady's video right there. For you people that think the government should be involved in these personal relationships, are all lies fraud? And if not, when does a lie exactly become a fraud? And when would it have been okay for him to leave her for his intentions not to be fraudulent? Because that's what I mean. It's a slippery slope. But anyway, we're going to keep on moving on, and we're going to get to another question from the first video. This lady is dealing with the older family member who is, she thinks, a possible victim of a romance scam.
Hello, TikTok world. Amanda here. I'm looking for advice today. I'm looking for some much needed advice. I have a mother who is elderly, disabled, who is for the most part reliant on someone to take her to and from and to perform a lot of her ADLs. I'm looking for someone to give me insight on how to get through to her about romance scammers. For the past few years, she just continues to play into their hands, try to buy Apple cards for them, cash out money, you name it. She doesn't have control of her own accounts, monetary accounts, because I can't trust her not to just send all of her money off to someone like David from Nigeria. David from Nigeria called yesterday during our Easter gathering. Pretty much caused complete discord, disarray, you name it. Completely ruined the holiday. Because she believes that she's in a relationship with David from Nigeria that lives in Los Angeles, California. Make that make sense. So I'm looking for advice. Does anyone have any advice for me and how to get through to her? Because family dynamics, family relationships are completely being severed because of this issue. You can't get through to her. And she told me yesterday, it doesn't matter what you say or anybody says, nobody's going to tell me who I can and cannot talk to. She's given them personal information that I have warned her against before in the past, and she just continues to do it. So if anybody has any romance scam with your elderly parents, grandparents, family members, whomever, if you have any romance scam tips for me to try to get through to my mother, I would greatly appreciate it, because I don't know what else to do other than sever the relationship with my mother, and I hate to do that, but my peace is being taken. My holidays are being ruined because of her mindset, and she seems to be okay with it as long as she has that telephone and can talk to whomever, you know, like David from freaking Nigeria. That was obviously a Jamaican. So any inside help, or, you know, anybody that's experienced this, that actually got through to a loved one, you can give me some insights, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
It's the same tricky situation from yesterday. And if you ask me, by what she described, her mother knows exactly what she's doing, and she's perfectly fine with whatever she's doing. She's aware and she doesn't want her bubble burst. She wants to live in the fantasy. These are her last days. And if you ask me, she deserves it, man. And it sounds like you're kind of a control freak. And because your mother isn't doing what you want her to do, now you want to disassociate yourself. I think what a lot of you kids or parents that's in this situation need to remember is your parent is obviously showing that they're lonely. Maybe they need to be integrated into the family life more, because it's a lot of gaps right now where they got time for scammers to infiltrate their pockets. So instead of getting mad at your parents, maybe try to integrate them more into the family life so they have something to do and they have something on their mind, so they don't feel like they're just being sat on the shelf somewhere waiting to die so everybody can spend their money when they go.
All said and done, I lost about $2.5 million.
In late 2021, Cindy Tsai began a relationship with a man named Jimmy she met on WhatsApp. Their conversation spanned life, sports, literature, and eventually cryptocurrency. She didn't know it at the time, but she was being groomed.
At the time, it was probably one of the most vulnerable times in my life. So I met the scammer October 15th. September 16th, about a month prior, was when they called me in and said, look, we see that the cancer had come back.
Cindy, a successful project finance lawyer, would be duped into investing in a fake cryptocurrency website. She later found out she had fallen victim to pig butchering, a multi-billion-dollar scam that has taken root in Southeast Asia since 2019, targeting people worldwide.
They weren't stupid in what they were doing. They obviously had a team that studied the market.
Just as shocking was when Cindy learned that Jimmy, or at least one of the people playing him, may also be a victim. Pig butchering is built on human trafficking and violence, with thousands of workers from China and Southeast Asia lured to centers in Cambodia, Laos, and Myanmar where they are forced to scam. If they refuse, they are beaten, tased, or sold to other groups.
A lot of these scammers are victims of human trafficking, and that a lot of them are actually based in Cambodia. But my focus right now really are on the traffic victims now.
Raw and uncut. I just had to calm down to make this video. If you were the victim of a romance scam from Hinge or any of those dating sites and you need support, this is for you. Because I'm in the same boat, and if you want to leave a cringe comment, go ahead. No one cares. Let's get on with it. I was the victim of romance scam on Hinge. It just kind of happened on Friday, and I'm just honestly trying to take it day by day. Met this man, talked for months online, no mention of any type of trading. Inevitably it comes up. I tell him, good for you, I don't have that kind of money to invest. Like, congratulations, you know. This man offers to front me the money to trade. All seems fine and dandy. I can see all my transactions making money. I still see the funds in my crypto wallet, which is even more taunting because it hasn't technically been stolen from me, but the exchange is basically charging me 10% of total assets to quote unquote unfreeze my account because I've had fraud protection or fraud on my account because of this deposit this man made, and all of my assets are there. I'm left with nothing. I am about to lose everything in my life. So, made all the reports. Thanks, guys. I reported them to the SEC, FINRA, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, California Department of Financial Institutions, the International Cyber Crimes Unit, the Chinese Consulate, like you name it. I'm not going down without a fight. So we're working through this, and I just want to let you know that, you know, I am lucky enough to have a supportive family who, you know, they'll talk some shit, but they'll be there for me in the end. But if you don't have that, I'm here for you, and let's get through this together. And I'm going to document this, even if it's just for myself, because I just need to know that I didn't go down without a fight. And I'm sorry. I'm hurt. You know, you work hard for everything just to have it taken away from you. And, well, I'm here for you guys, so if you want to stick around for that. Oh, fuck, sorry, I had to calm down. But, you know, if it just reaches one person, you know, you even if you do your due diligence, this can happen to you. So, you're not dumb, don't be ashamed. Stay tuned.
Can't front. I need to hear a little bit more about that. So he convinced you to move all your assets to a crypto wallet? I don't know about y'all, but the whole crypto wallet thing, to me, I just can't get over the fact that my money is online somewhere, and it can constantly be stolen by somebody somewhere if they're good enough with a computer. Thousands of dollars if you keep it in the crypto wallet. Nah, I'm cool with a crypto wallet. I'll use it. I don't even like regular wallets. So you think I'm gonna mess with a crypto wallet? You must be out your damn mind.
Get out of here.
Like, he asked me for my mobile number, and then he asked me for my address, and I didn't think there was anything off it romantically or anything.
Undeterred by the 33-year age gap and flattered by the young Sri Lankan's attention, when Diane got home to Edinburgh, things started to heat up.
And after I got back home, he tried to call me, but his English wasn't that good, so then he wrote me a few letters. And then from January 2012, we were texting each other. We had a conversation on the phone, and he mentioned marriage. And I was a bit taken aback.
At the time, Diane was 54 and had never been married before. She was seduced by the dream of a new life in paradise with a much younger man. So 7 months later, she flew back to Sri Lanka to see Priyanjana. Things quickly spiraled out of control.
He was really excited. He kept saying, tomorrow engagement. And I thought that we had to go to the registrar's office because I was a foreigner. I thought that we had to register it, you know, that we're getting engaged.
But at the registrar's office, it became clear Priyanjana had a different plan.
And then she started reciting, do you take, you know, blah, blah, blah. So that's when I discovered what was happening.
Diane was unwittingly taking part in her own wedding ceremony.
I was kind of shocked at first, but he was urging me to go ahead and just say it. So we got married. Didn't have a ring or anything, you know, which was very strange.
This was not the wedding Diane had dreamed of for decades, so the couple dressed up for official photographs. And at the beginning, the new relationship went well.
He was quite attentive and quite romantic and very loving. I was developing feelings for him by this time.
Diane wanted to build a new life with her husband, so she says she sent him £20,000 to start building a home in Sri Lanka for them both.
This is where I used to live.
A couple of years later, keen to help her young husband, Diane says she then sold her flat for £100,000, sending Priyanjana an additional $31,000. He used the money to upgrade his tuk-tuk to a minibus. Later, Diane decided to move to Sri Lanka to be with her new 21-year-old Sri Lankan husband, but instead of love blossoming, the romance withered.
He spent more time at his mother's house than he spent with me. Or he would go out with his friends. And he would never come home at night time. So he was never there. And it just wasn't working out. We were just arguing all the time about money.
I seriously think a lot of these people know this is a scam, and they know it the whole time. But I think it's this little piece of hope in them that they want to hold on to is real, and are not willing to give it up. And a lot of times when they do give it up, that's when the scam turns into a crime in my book. Because I feel like a lot of this stuff is so obvious that you have to know. But you want it to be true so bad that you're holding on to that last little bit of hope. And then as soon as you let go of that last little bit of hope, now it becomes our problem. And that's where my problem comes into play with a lot of this stuff. Like I said, man, I feel sorry for everybody affected by these scams. And I know it's tons more male stories out there, but men, we pretty much going to take our L, understand that we was totally in the wrong and move on. But it seems like women are ready to fight to the end over this. But the only thing I'm going to say to everybody, men and women, is you can go after the person that got you fine and dandy. You can go seek all the revenge you want. But it comes back to you. The one consistent in every situation that you are in is you. So if you ain't willing to take the time to look at yourself and see how you could have moved different and analyze why you was even in that situation to begin with in the first place, and why you was so trusting and believing to somebody that you didn't know. Like, you got a lot of stuff that you got to look into yourself. So you really don't have too much time right now to be going after somebody else if you want to be 100% honest, in my humble opinion, because it's a lot going on with you. But anyway, relationships are everything, man. Remember that. Never forget that. Relationships are everything. And you are going to be older far longer than you are younger. I think that's a Jada Kiss line, but it's the truth though. And like I said earlier, y'all don't forget, if you have older parents and you think they're falling victim to this type stuff, man, incorporate them into the family more and go visit them a whole lot more and check up on them, because they're telling you through their actions that they're lonely, man. They can only tell you but so many ways, man. And it's unfair of you to tell them not to talk to this person, but then you not going to talk to them. So come on, y'all, let's get it together out there. So once again, we done reached the end of this video. Hit me in the comment section. Tell me how you feel about everything you just witnessed.
Tell me how you felt about what just happened there.
And if you done made it to this point in the video, you are my MVP.
It was a stone groove, my man.
I'm out of here.